What exactly makes this shoot so different? There are no CGI effects, no super large sets, even the outfits seem simple. But the result? Like a cultural explosion that shook the fashion and entertainment industries at once. Many people think this is just the effect of a large fan base or popularity alone. But for industry experts, there is something much deeper. Jungkook not only appears in front of the camera, he creates social and visual phenomena that are very rare. It changed the way people viewed advertising, fashion, even the concept of fame itself. That is why fashion experts and media analysts from various countries agree. This is not just a photo shoot, it's a movement. Behind every seemingly calm pose, there is a grand cultural strategy. Behind every light that falls on his skin, there is a symbol of a global visual paradigm shift. We are not witnessing a promotional photo, we are witnessing the rebirth of an icon in a broader, bolder, and more influential form than ever before. But what exactly makes this photo shoot so exciting? Why can't the whole world stop talking about it? Tonight, we're going to dissect it with a narrative style that not only tells the story, but takes you into the atmosphere behind the scenes, tracing every layer of meaning, every emotional vibe, and every real reason that made Jungkook's photo shoot the biggest highlight of the year. One thing that immediately left observers speechless when Jungkook's photos were released was his tone was different. This is not an ordinary idol shooting style that highlights a handsome face or ideal body shape. No, it's a visual that's got a soul. Jungkook is not selling clothes, he is selling feelings. Soft but contrasting lighting, calm but intense expressions, to a style of dress that seems to be devoid of pretensions. Everything is designed not to be striking, but to speak. Observers call it emotional minimalism, a new trend in the fashion world in which simplicity is precisely the main force. In an exclusive interview with one of the creative directors who took part in the project, it was revealed that the main concept of the photo shoot is human texture, how the skin, highlight of the eyes and posture can tell much more than words. And who can execute it perfectly if not Jungkook? He is known as a person who has extraordinary body awareness, not artificial, not regulated, but natural. Even the photographer who took the picture admitted, Jungkook doesn't need much direction. He knows when to be quiet, when to stare, and when to be himself. That's why the result feels very honest. Each photo is like capturing a real moment, not an advertising construction. But that's exactly where the power is. In an era where fashion often feels too artificial, Jungkook's presence reminds the world of the true essence of style. It's not about what you wear, but how you present yourself to the world. Furthermore, this style of shooting seems to be a symbol of resistance to the old trends of the fashion world, which are dominated by Western narratives. Jungkook, with his Asian charisma, introduces a new aesthetic, more serene, reflective, and rooted in harmony of body and mind. Analysts refer to this as the Korean Zen aesthetic, a visual approach that combines Eastern simplicity with the dynamics of global expression. And this isn't the first time Jungkook has done it. In previous campaigns with Calvin Klein, a similar pattern has been seen. Compositions that are not noisy but leave a deep impression. But what makes this time different is its visual maturity. There was no longer a trace of the timid young idol. All it looks like now is a man in complete control of himself, and the world loves it. Observers in Milan even called this photo shoot the visual maturity moment of Jungkook. That is, it is not just about good photographs, but about the transformation of a public figure into a visionary figure in the world of modern lifestyle. And at this point, all the eyes of the world began to realize What they are witnessing is not just a trend, but a change in the direction of fashion history itself. When this photo shoot exploded on the internet, many thought it was viral due to BTS's huge fan base. But the reality is much more interesting. Based on an analysis of global social media data by research firms Social Blade and Fashion Metrics, the spike in talk about Jungkook was highest from non-K-pop audience users, people who had not previously followed BTS. In America and Europe, many netizens didn't even know who Jungkook was before, but felt called by the campaign's visuals. They call it refreshing, raw, and genuine. It shows that Jungkook's appeal has already crossed the boundaries of fandom and entered the realm of universal popular culture. This is what makes this photo shoot called the phenomenon of authenticity. A world tired of fake poses, over-edits, and gimmick-filled ads suddenly finds something real, and they find it in Jungkook's figure. Another fact that surprised experts even more was the speed of its spread. In the first 12 hours, Calvin Klein's official Instagram post scored more than 7 million likes, a new record for a men's fashion campaign, in 2025. On platform X, Twitter, the behind-the-scenes video of the shoot was viewed more than 60 million times in just 48 hours. But the most interesting thing is not the number, but the type of comments that appear. Many people wrote personal reflections after seeing Jungkook's photos. Some say, "This makes me feel good about myself." Others say, "She doesn't seem to be trying, but I want to be as honest as she is." This means that this shoot has a psychological effect that other fashion campaigns rarely have. It evokes empathy, not just admiration. Cultural psychologists even refer to this phenomenon as the mirror empathy effect, in which the audience not only sees but feels the emotions of the subject of the photo because of the honesty that is reflected in it. And come to think of it, this is in line with Jungkook's image all along. Someone who never tried too hard to be liked, but precisely because of that, everyone liked him. As soon as this photo shoot went viral, various fashion experts immediately intervened to give an analysis. One of them was Edward Enninful, former editor-in-chief of British Vogue, who called this photo shoot a masterclass in presence. According to him, Jungkook's success doesn't come from clothes or sets, but from how he brings every frame to life with a natural aura. There's no pretension, no acting, just pure connection, he said. A similar view came from Anna Dello Russo, an Italian fashion icon, who considered that Jungkook had created a new masculine softness, a new concept of masculinity that is no longer rigid, but still authoritative. It features a soft side without losing strength. This is the representation of the modern man that the fashion world craves today. However, the impact did not stop there. After this shoot, several major fashion houses reportedly immediately made collaboration offers, even for non-fashion projects such as perfume and jewelry. The reason is simple. They don't just want Jungkook's face, but his soul in their work. He is considered capable of giving life to the product without losing artistic integrity. Some industry sources say that this effect is now known as the Jungkook effect, a term used to describe how one individual can trigger cross-industry trends just by being themselves, a very rare phenomenon in the world of modern entertainment. Interestingly, when asked about the photo shoot in a short interview, Jungkook himself answered very simply, "I just wanted to appear honest. And maybe that's where the secret is. In a world that is busy pretending, honesty is the most precious luxury." Jungkook's photo shoot wasn't just a visual or commercial success, it was a reflection of a new direction in global culture. The world is moving towards an era where authenticity, simplicity, and depth are becoming a new form of luxury. Jungkook, unknowingly, became the pioneer of this trend. He didn't scream to be heard, but the world heard him. He did not try to look perfect, but his simplicity actually created a new definition of perfection itself. And perhaps this is the real reason why the photo shoot was so noticed. Because in the midst of the illusory glitter of the industry, a person finally dared to appear as he is, and the whole world stopped for a moment to look at him. There is one thing that even the most experienced fashion photographers in the world admit when talking about Jungkook. He is not just good on camera, he changes the meaning of the camera itself. As soon as the shutter was pressed, the atmosphere in the room changed, not because of the lighting, not because of the perfect angle, but because of the aura coming from the figure in front of it. And that's exactly what happened to her latest viral photo shoot. While the rest of the fashion world thought they knew all the visual tricks, Jungkook came up with a feel-good approach, surprisingly honest. He does not pose to lure, but to talk. Not trying to look cool, but showing real. This is the point at which fashion experts, who are usually cold and analytical, suddenly speak in admiring tones. A creative director from New York even said, "We can usually guess the end result of the shooting concept. But Jungkook? No. He seems to have a sense of his own that goes beyond visual aesthetics. In a world full of imagery, it is precisely this kind of emotional honesty that is now his greatest secret weapon. While many other celebrities only appear in front of the camera to sell style, Jungkook appears to tell the journey of self. And that's what makes each expression feel like a movie scene that can't be repeated." Even crazier, the technical team behind the shoot admitted that there were moments when they forgot they were working. One of the photographers said, "Usually we take pictures of someone, but with Jungkook, it was like watching someone write fashion history in real time. Every click of the camera is proof that style can be a language and pose can be a social statement." Jungkook, once considered a handsome idol with high marketability, has now turned into a fashion icon who shapes trends, not follows. And that's why the attention to this photo shoot is not only because of the seductive visuals, but because of the message she secretly slips in every detail, from the shabby-looking but characteristic denim texture to her deliberately imperfect hand gestures. All seemed unplanned, but it turned out to be very curated. This is the point where the public realized Jungkook is no longer a K-pop star who models. She has entered new territory, a fashion storyteller. Interestingly, the domino effect is felt immediately. Major brands from America abruptly revised their campaign strategies. Calvin Klein, of course, became the center of a storm of attention because it again managed to take advantage of Jungkook's most authentic side, unfiltered realism. But brands like Ralph Lauren, Givenchy, even Versace are starting to change the way they feature men in fashion campaigns. No longer with the image of a classic macho, but with a human side that is not ashamed to look fragile. It all started with one simple thing: Jungkook's gaze in front of the camera. Fashion experts agree that there is rarely a moment when a single photo shoot can change the landscape of the industry. But this time, they call it the Jungkook shift. A shift in which the image of the man is no longer defined by muscles, but by a presence that can be evocative. It's not about the clothes you wear, it's about how you feel when you wear them. No longer about the pose, but about the message. And that's the reason why this shoot is getting so much attention, even to the level of cultural observers. It's not just visual content, it's a social phenomenon in motion. If you think Jungkook's viral photo shoot is just a visual showcase, you are deeply mistaken. Behind each of those deceptively simple frames, it turns out that there is a very neat global communication strategy, and most observers only come to their senses after the impact has spread like a wave. Fashion experts, brand analysts, to observers of digital behavior agree. This is not just another fashion campaign. This is a case study of how one figure can move the direction of an industry with just visual language. But let's pull it back a little. The fashion world is really at a crossroads. The American market is becoming saturated with the concept of classic, over-glorified masculinity. While in Asia, especially South Korea, there is a resurgence of a new aesthetic, genderless, expressive, and emotionally boundless. Jungkook is right in the middle of those two worlds. He became a bridge that brought together two previously opposite stylistic cultures. And this is exactly what the creative team behind her latest photoshoot took advantage of. They know putting Jungkook in the fashion narrative isn't just about selling clothes, it's about selling ideas. The idea that modern fashion identity no longer belongs to a single continent, but the result of a lively global mix. A strategy that, according to the London-based visual communication expert, is more effective than a political campaign. And the effect? Real. Once the photos were released, it didn't take long before fans, fashion editors, and even other celebrities joined in the discussion.